Shalom. I'm Kristen Arbor, and today I'll be reading Exodus 36 through 38 from the TLB. 36. So Bezalel and Oholiab are to work along with every wise-hearted man whom Adonai has placed insight and understanding, to know how to perform all the labor for the service of the sanctuary, according to everything Adonai has commanded. Then Moses called Bezalel, Oholiab, and all the wise-hearted men in whose minds Adonai had set wisdom, along with everyone whose heart stirred him up to come and do the work. They received from Moses the entire offering that Bnei Israel had brought for the work of the service of the sanctuary to build it. They brought freewill offerings to him morning and after morning. Then all the skilled men who were doing all the work of the sanctuary came, one by one, from the work he was doing, and said to Moses, "The people are bringing much more than enough for the work of his construction that Adonai has commanded to be done." So Moses gave an order, and they proclaimed it throughout the camp, saying, "Let neither man nor woman make anything else as an offering for the sanctuary." So the people were restrained from bringing more, for the work material they had was sufficient for all the work, with much left over. So all the wise-hearted men among them did the work. They made the tabernacle with 10 curtains of finely twisted linen, along with blue, purple, and scarlet, with cherubim, the work of a skillful craftsman. The length of each curtain was 28 cubits, and the width of each curtain was 4 cubits. All the curtains had one measure. Then he coupled 5 curtains to one another, and the other 5 curtains he also coupled together. He made blue loops on the edge of the curtain that was the outermost within the first set. He did the same along the edge of the curtain that was the outermost in the second set. He made 50 loops in one curtain and 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that was in the second set, so that the loops were the opposite to one another. He also made 50 clasps of gold and coupled the curtains one to another with the clasps, so the tabernacle was one. Then he made curtains from goat hair for a tent over the tabernacle. He made 11 curtains. The length of each curtain was 30 cubits, and the width of each was 4 cubits. The 11 curtains had one measure. He coupled 5 curtains by themselves, and 6 other curtains by themselves. He made 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that was the outermost in the first set, and 50 loops on the edge of the curtain that was the outermost in the second set. He also made 50 bronze clasps to couple the tent together, so that it would be one. Then he made a covering for the tent of ram skins, dyed red, along with a covering of seal skins above. He also made the framework of boards for the tabernacle from acacia wood, standing upright. The length of a board was 10 cubits. The width was 1.5 cubits. Each board had 2 supports, joined one to another. He did this for all the boards of the tabernacle. So he built the boards for the tabernacle, 20 boards from the south side southward. And he made 40 silver bases under the 20 boards, 2 bases under one board for its 2 supports, and 2 bases under another board for its 2 supports. Also for the second side of the tabernacle, on the north side, he made 20 boards, along with their 40 silver bases, 2 under one board and 2 under the next. For the back part of the tabernacle, westward, he made 6 boards. He also made 2 boards for the corners of the tabernacle in the back, so that they could be doubled underneath, and in the same way to be fixed to the top at the first ring. He did this for both of them at the 2 corners. So there were 8 boards, along with their silver bases, 16 in all, 2 under each board. Then he made crossbars from acacia wood, 5 for the boards on one side of the tabernacle, 5 for the boards on the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 crossbars for the boards of the tabernacle for the back part westward. He built the middle crossbar to pass through in the center of the boards, from one end to the other. He overlaid the boards with gold and made golden rings for them as holders for the crossbars, and overlaid the crossbars with gold. Then he made the curtain of blue, purple, scarlet, and finely twisted linen, along with the cherubim, the work of a skillful craftsman. He made 4 pillars of acacia and overlaid them with gold, having golden hooks, and he cast 4 silver bases for them. Then he made a paroquet for the entrance of the tent, of blue, purple, scarlet, and finely twisted linen, the work of a color weaver. Also he made the 5 pillars with their hooks, and overlaid their capitals and bands with gold, along with their 5 bronze bases. 37. Bezalel also made the ark from acacia wood, 2.5 cubits long, 1.5 cubits wide, and 1.5 cubits high. He overlaid it with pure gold inside and out, and made a crown of gold for it all around. He cast 4 golden rings for it in the 4 feet, 2 rings on one side and 2 on the other. He also made poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold. Then he put the poles into the rings on the sides of the ark to carry the ark. He made an atonement cover of pure gold, 2.5 cubits long, 1.5 cubits wide. Then he forged the 2 cherubim of gold from hammered work at the 2 ends of the atonement cover, 1 cherub at one end and 1 cherub at the other. He made the atonement cover from a single piece with the cherubim on the 2 ends. So the cherubim spread out their wings on high, overshadowing the atonement cover with their wings, with their faces to one another, and the faces of the cherubim toward the atonement cover. Then he made the table of acacia wood, 2 cubits long, 1 cubit wide, and 1.5 cubits high. He overlaid it with pure gold and made a golden crown all around. Also he made a border for it, a hand width around, and made a golden crown for the border all around. He cast 4 golden rings for it, and put the rings into the 4 corners that were on the 4 feet. The rings were close to the borders as the holders for the poles to carry the table. He also made the poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold to carry the table. He forged the articles that were on the table, the dishes, pans, bowls, and jars, with which to pour out of pure gold. Then he made the menorah of pure gold, of hammered work, even its base, its stems, its cups, its bulbs, and its flowers were one piece with it. There were 6 branches going out of the sides, 3 branches out of one side, and 3 branches out of the other. 3 cups made like almond blossoms were in one branch, a bulb within a flower, and 3 cups made like almond blossoms in the next branch, another bulb within a flower. It was just so for the 6 branches going out of the menorah. Also within the menorah were 4 cups made like almond blossoms, bulbs, and flowers, with a bulb under 2 branches of one piece, a second bulb under 2 branches of another piece, and a bulb under 2 branches of a third piece, for 6 branches extending out of it. Their bulbs and their branches were one piece, with it an entire hammered work of pure gold. He also made the 7 lamps, along with the tongs and the censers of pure gold. He made them from a talent of pure gold, along with all the pieces. He made the altar of incense from acacia wood, 1 cubit long, 1 cubit wide, squared, and 2 cubits high. The horns were one piece with it. Then he overlaid it with pure gold on top, on the sides, all around, and over its horns. Also, he made a crown of gold for it, all around. He made 2 golden rings for it underneath the crown, on 2 sides as holders for poles in order to carry it. he made the poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold. Then he made the holy anointing oil and the pure incense of sweet spices, the blend of a perfumer. 38. Then he made the altar for burnt offerings from acacia wood. It was square, 5 cubits long, 5 cubits wide, and 3 cubits high. He also made the horns on the 4 corners from one piece, and overlaid it with bronze. Then he made all the utensils for the altar, the pots and the shovels, the basins, the forks, and the fire pans. He made all the utensils from bronze. He also made a bronze grating net for the altar, under the ledge around it, reaching halfway up. He cast 4 rings for the 4 ends of the bronze grating to be holders for the poles. He made the poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with bronze. Then he put the poles into the rings on the sides of the altar to carry it, and he made it hollow out of boards. He made the basin and the base from bronze, with mirrors from the woman who served at the entrance of the tent of meeting. Then he made the courtyard for the south side. The hangings of the courtyard were finely twisted linen, 100 cubits long. There were 20 pillars and 20 bronze bases. The hooks of the pillars and their bands were silver. Likewise, for the north side, 100 cubits long, with 20 bronze pillars and bases. And the hooks for the pillars and their bands were silver. For the west side, the hangings were 50 cubits, with 10 pillars and their 10 bases, as well as the hooks for the pillars and their silver bands. Likewise, for the east side, 50 cubits long, the hangings for one side of the gate were 15 cubits, with 3 pillars and their bases. Similarly, for the other side, on either side of the gate of the courtyard were hangings of 15 cubits, with their 3 pillars and 3 bases. All the hangings of the courtyard all around were of finely twisted linen. The bases for the pillars were bronze. The hooks of the pillars and their bands were silver. The overlaying of their capitals were silver, and all the pillars of the courtyard were ringed with silver. The curtain for the gate of the courtyard was the work of a color weaver, of blue, purple, scarlet, and finely twisted linen. It was 20 cubits long and 5 cubits high, like the hangings of the courtyard. Their 4 pillars and 4 bases were bronze. Their hooks, along with the overlaying of their capitals and their bands, were silver. All the pegs of the tabernacle and the courtyard all around were bronze. These are the accounts of the tabernacle of the testimony, as they were recorded according to the commandment of Moses by the service of the Levites, under the hand of Ithamar, son of Aaron the Kohen. Bezalel, son of Uri, son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah, made all that Adonai commanded Moses. Along with him was Oholiab, son of Ahishama, of the tribe of Dan, a craftsman, a skilled workman. Get the names right, and then I get something silly. Along with him was Oholiab, son of Ahishama, of the tribe of Dan, a craftsman, a skillful workman, and a weaver of colors in blue, purple, scarlet, and fine linen. The entirety of the gold that was used for the work of the sanctuary, including the gold of the offering, was 29 talents and 730 shekels, according to the sanctuary shekel. The silver from those numbered from the congregation was 100 talents and 1,775 shekels, according to the sanctuary shekel. That is, a bekah, or half a shekel per head, according to the shekel of the sanctuary, for everyone who was recorded from 20 years old and upward, for 603,550 men. The 100 talents of silver were for casting the bases of the sanctuary, and the bases for the inner curtain, 100 bases for 100 talents, a talent for each base. The 1,775 shekels he made into hooks for the pillars, overlaid their capitals, and made bands for them. The bronze from the offering was 70 talents, and 2,400 shekels. With it he made the bases for the entrance of the tent of meeting, the bronze altar, the bronze grating, and all the utensils of the altar, along with the bases of the courtyard all around, the bases for the gate of the courtyard, as well as all the pegs of the tabernacle, and the pegs for the courtyard all around.